Hello, everyone. My name is Reese, and I have a good friend of mine, Lomack. Lomack and I have been friends for quite some time now, right? We
Yes,
began to know each other through our experience with dealing with multiple sclerosis. We've had some good times, we've had some bad times, we've had some laughs, we had some cries. I think we've done it all when it comes to what we're dealing with, correct?
that's right.
All right. So, Lomack, I wanted to ask you a few questions about your dealing with it, okay? First, I would like to know what are some of the early signs that you had when you symptoms that you had experienced with your MS, the very earliest signs that you had?
I was on the job and my arm, I could, it's like maybe like a bad, it was just killing me. Um, I could hardly lift my arm. And when I went to the Mullen Center, um, the Mary Renzel said to me, she says, we need to do an MRI and not an MRI, like yeah, she did an MRI and she says, yes, you have MS and we need to start treating it right away or you're going to have another attack or something like that. And that's the first signs I had with my arm, movement with my arm. That was the first sign.
It sounded like you were kind of blessed, Lomac, because you're saying that your first testing after you had that problem with your arm, they knew right away that that was MS, or did you have to go through a series of testing to find out?
I had to do an MRI.
And the MRI found it right away?
A lot of lesions, yeah. That's how they know what you if it's MS. It's a lot of lesions. But the funny thing about that, and I'm sorry, um, back in 1999, I lost vision in my left eye. They called it optimal neuritis. But back in 1999, they knew little or nothing about MS. So they just labeled it optimal neuritis. So fast forward '06, 2006, 2005, when my arm started hurting me and I went to the doctor, they did an MRI. She says, yes, you got MS. And then she also said, hey, we see back in 1999, the doctors wrote down that all your symptoms were similar to MS, but again, they knew nothing about MS. And so to truly answer your question correctly, it was back in 1999 when I lost my vision. That was the first sign.
And they were trying to treat the optimism, something with the
They,
optimism.
right, and they did. They treated the optimal neuritis with steroids, but the doctors put in my notes that whatever was going on with my eye was similar to multiple sclerosis.
I
But
see.
again, they knew nothing about multiple sclerosis
Exactly.
at in 1999.
Absolutely. No treatments or anything back then. So that's why they had no idea where it was coming from, what was causing it, why we ended up with it, and things of that nature. So that's why you were dealing with something totally different, treated for something miss.
Right, right.
It makes a lot of sense. I know we're so happy that now we have so many treatments that's helping us out now, which is really great. But it took us to be the trial and errors of all this, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
So, can you tell me how multiple sclerosis has changed your approach on life or your tasks and responsibilities around the house and your flare ups? How do you really deal with those currently?
Um, if I had to put my finger on it, um, it would be low stress. So um, I'm real conscious about being in stressful situations like toxic this, toxic that, toxic jobs, toxic relationships, uh, toxic people being around you. So if I had to put my finger on it, that would be, um, my cure or my solutions And I just do I'm thankful that I'm able to do my chores and do everything that I need to do uh, in spite of what's going on with the MS.
I love the way you said you have to check because that's something that we control ourselves. You know, who we're going to be around, what we're going to let stress us out, and what because we have to control that. We can't, no one else can control our stress level but us.
That's right.
Like
That's right. That's right.
yes. And I
And
like
I truly believe that. I truly believe that's what brings it on. I really believe that.
you know, that is a known fact that stress can, you know, help hurt our MS. You know,
Right.
any little bit of stress. You know, they said people have gotten it from car accidents. You know, you have a car accident, the stress of, oh no, car, you know what I'm saying? It stresses you out and your MS can flare up so easily. So that's so wonderful that you know how to control that. And I like that. That's
Right.
wonderful.
Yeah. And not so much MS. I think anything that's going on in your body, whether cancer, whatever it is, I think stress triggers and brings it out.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
find yourself walk. Do you have walking challenges at all? Because you see, I have my little walking Cadillac here myself. Do you have any walking?
Oh, no, I'm thankful to God. No, I've been okay.
Awesome.
Um, sometimes I stumble a little bit, but I have my mobility. And again, I'm sorry to repeat myself, but I'm so thankful. And but I've been doing okay.
Awesome.
And I'll tell you something else I've been doing. I've been trying to do a little exercise, keep moving.
Very
And
important.
I believe that helps too.
Absolutely. That's very important. The market as much as we can, but we are supposed to know our limitations. Do you stop when your body says stop, or do you continue?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I ain't doing, but whatever I'm doing it. I try to do it at least 4 or 5 times a week. I try, but if something comes up where I have to go to an appointment or I have an event or whatever, I don't stress. When I was younger, I used to stress, but I don't stress. I just can't do it today. I'll do it tomorrow,
So you do balance yourself. That's
and keep it moving. Excuse me, and keep it moving. I mean, I don't stress about it.
awesome. That's good that you're following your symptoms. You're following what you know you can handle and what you can't handle. I know that with some of my family members, they say, "Do when I'm overly exhausted or if I'm like fatigued because of the MS, your voice changes, your body language changes, everything changes." Do you find that happening to yourself?
Yeah, yeah, yes, but you know, I'm 100% on cruise. Period.
Good for you.
So I'm in one motion.
Okay.
I try to plan. I write my appointment. So I'm not putting myself where I have to rush. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, when I can, I guess sometimes, it ain't nothing 100%, but I try to plan as much as possible. So I'm not. So for example, if I got a 1 o'clock appointment, I might leave the house at 12 o'clock, because you never know what might happen. So people tease me all the time and say, "Lomack, you always you're the first to come and you're the first to leave."
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because I'm on time, and and when it's over, I leave. You know what I'm trying to say.
I absolutely do because you don't want to be stressed saying I have to get there at a certain time and you're nowhere near that appointment. Because
You know, we're near that,
yeah,
right?
do you find
Right.
yourself
So
having to keep everything on your calendar? So do you remember your dates, or
yeah,
is your memory pretty good?
I know. I write everything down. I write things down before I go into the store. So I have a list. So you know how you say, "Oh, I forgot this or I forgot that."
Mhm.
Well, I usually try to write it down.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to also know that are there any misconceptions that we have about multiple sclerosis that you would like to address that you want people to understand or clear up a little bit?
Uh, one thing that sticks out is the fatigue that people with multiple sclerosis have. Um, we don't have the energy level. So sometimes, we don't, I know I don't do a lot of running, but like for example, my family members say, you don't never want to go nowhere. You don't, but I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? So they may not understand that your stress, I mean, your energy,
Right. We don't stress, right?
no, you don't stress, but they may not understand your energy level. Um, because I feel I am doing okay, but still my energy level is not on a normal person's energy level. It's on an MS level.
Mhm.
So when they look at me, they don't see that. So just the energy level that I would want to say that people don't understand uh, with people with multiple sclerosis.
This one, I'm so glad I'm hearing your side as well because I get a lot of slack on my end as far as when I'm cooking a meal that could take a person 20 minutes to cook, it could take me 2 hours. That energy level, you do a little bit, you have to stop. You do a little bit more, you have to stop. You know what I'm saying? So we don't,
Right.
our body tells us to not push it. So, and it sounds like that's the misconception you're saying that people do not realize your energy level. You have to take breaks. You have to do things at your pace that you know your body can handle. Is that what I'm
That is
understanding from you,
that
right?
is that is correct. That is correct.
Hmm. Now, I guess if you met somebody, Lomack, that just got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and we know that with multiple sclerosis, everybody have different symptoms. We have different footprints, as they say. We still have MS, like just like you just told me. I have no walking challenges. You get off balance, but I tend to fall. Okay, so I use my rollator most times. People will ask me, "Why did you fall?" I can't answer that question. Why did we bump into the wall? We didn't bump into the wall; moved on us, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So if you met someone, being as we all have different signs and symptoms, and they just got diagnosed with MS, what would you tell them, or how would you tell them to deal with this MS situation?
Um, I, I would tell them that you, you, despite what happens to us, you got to have a good attitude toward life. I mean, even though you feel life dealt with lemons dealt you some lemons. You got to try to find a way to make lemonade. You got to. I think it's your attitude. Um, I mean, but it's. I want to say it's easy for me to say because I'm doing okay, but I would imagine I have a friend. Her name. I have a friend, and she's bedridden, but we try to talk 2 or 3 times a week. So I think she has such a great attitude to be in the bed, you know, to be bedridden, you know. Matter of fact, she was diagnosed before me. And so, and I would tell them that I know it's going to be challenges. And if there's any way they can find in their heart to have a positive attitude despite what's going on. And make sure you go to the doctor. Make sure you do your follow-ups because they're always coming out with new stuff. And you might be a candidate for a new study. Um, So, some that just came out on the market and they need volunteers or they need people to try it out, testers or whatever. And if you, depending on where you are and you want to give it a try, hey, it might turn things around. So again, they're coming out with new stuff all the time. So you got to be positive attitude and continuously working with your care people, your doctors.
And and that makes a lot of sense because as you were saying, as far as the positive attitude, I don't know if you went through this situation, but when you first got diagnosed, like you said, there was very little about it. We knew MS existed. We weren't able to be diagnosed. When we first developed MS, they had very little medications. Okay, so the positive attitude, and people, I used to have the attitude as, woe is me, why not the person that's doing bad to the world? But again, I had to think about the same thing. Why not me? What makes me special? So that's where that positive attitude comes into play to say, okay, yes, we have it, be proactive, do what we can, and we just move forward is what you're kind of really saying. And I do totally, I'm sorry to hear about your friend in the wheelchair, and I know people that are so much worse off than we are as well. I've seen a 17-year-old that was in a wheelchair, and that kind of lifted my spirits to say she does not have a life. She's gotten pushed down so young in life, and I didn't get young to 29. So how am I to say why them, why me? It's all God's plan, and you have to stay positive in yourself. And what you said makes some sense. Stay positive, stay proactive, get your treatments, do whatever you have to do.
And to be clear, she probably would wish she was in a wheelchair. She's bedridden. Mm-hmm. She's not, you know what I mean? She's bedridden. So, but again, we still talk, on a regular basis. But yeah, so yeah, you have to gotta try to keep moving forward. And I think when I was first diagnosed, I think I was woe is me and everything because you don't know, see when my sight was affected, the first thing you think about is, I can't play catch with my son. But you can, but it's a little challenging. But you think of everything that you can't do.
Instead of what you can do.
What you can't do instead of everything that you can do. So, so yeah, I think I went through, I've had and I think that's perfectly normal. And I think every individual should take as much time as they need. And when they finish having the powwow, they got to get to work.
I really agree with what you're saying. I'm loving what you're saying because all those things hold so true. And she had not to go back to reflect, just to let people know that MS can come at different stages. When the friend that you have that's bedridden, did her MS hit her very hard in the beginning, or did she go through little steps become bedridden?
It was also stages. So, her leg, she had mobility. She was driving. Is at the end she couldn't drive, and I'm sure she was fighting, trying to keep her independence, and this, that, and the other. And so I want to say it was a gradual. So I want to say, if I remember correctly, she might have been in her like 40. And I want to say maybe like 40s, like maybe 45 or 40. Wait a minute, yeah, or maybe like 30. Like I want to say maybe 40s, early, but it was a gradual thing. So she's got to be 65 now. So it was a gradual to get, and I know she was working because you're fighting for your independence.
Exactly, because we want that. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're fighting for your independence. So yeah, it was a gradual, but and Rhonda, um, it's devastating on the people around you. You know,
We have to stay strong through this because the family goes through as much as we go through when we're doing
right,
it. They have
right,
to help us in certain things.
right. Like, we don't realize how blessed we are. Earlier I saw your son helping you out, and we just don't know how blessed we truly are.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So if we go down, sort of you know what I mean? Your people around you take a hit too.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Right. And I think if anybody doesn't know what Mac was kind of explained to us, and that's why we're talking about his friend, sometimes we can go through like steady relapses where, I mean, no, I'm sorry, what am I looking for? The where we just stay the same, our symptoms, what word am I looking for, Lomac? You know, my memory.
You're looking for it's stagnant, it's in remission, is yeah, the MS is in remission, is holding, is holding.
So, and that's what he was saying as far as so all that does not understand when you're dealing with your family members, what Lomac is trying to say to me is that with his friend, she has the MS and she was doing well. Like I was bowling, I was golfing. Lomac did a lot of things, I'm sure, in his life. And because we're going through these challenges, some of our things have changed in our life. So I cannot bowl anymore, I cannot golf anymore, but I'm still at a relapsing stage of where I have small falls. Whereas he's saying his friend, she was doing all that, and she has what they call the relapsing, where progressive. I think it progressively gotten worse. However, we as MS patients are not giving up, and it sounds like her positive attitude. If you're saying to me, Loma, she has such a positive attitude, just like Kim Sellers. I have faith. I have visions that we are all going to get better. We're not going to give up. They're telling us there will never be a cure for it. But guess what? We will keep hope alive because guess what? They said there was no cure for other things out there, and they're finding things. They're
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I
searching for
really take
MS.
my.
Hmm? What
I
were you
said,
gonna say?
is somebody talking?
No, I was asking you what you said. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I really take my hat off to Kim Sellers because we all lived with her through this ordeal,
Yes.
and I think she's still fighting.
She's a trooper
Yeah.
and never loses her personality.
Never loses her
Yeah.
personality.
And of all who do not know, because I don't know where this will be seen or anything, but Kim Sellers is a very wonderful friend of mine. She's a radio personality, and her MS did progress, and she lost all movement of her hands and everything. But Kim Sellers never loses faith, and she
Mm,
continues to do as much as she can. So
mm.
that's what I'm getting from you, Lomax, and what you're telling me with your friend. I mean, I know that we've dealt with this, and we've had our struggles. And I would like to ask you too, though. I mean, because you really touch my heart when you're telling me about your friend. I love this. But can you tell me one of your most memorable impacts or conversations you've had about MS with someone that you think that motivated anybody to anything, or most memorable impact that you had? Mine was with Kim
Um,
Sellers for telling her that we can do this.
yeah, I just try to share any of my knowledge that along the way that I pick up. I try to share with her, and um, like I was in Walmart and they was giving away um, um, tablets. So I called her and said, "Hey, we need." I said, "They're giving away laptops," so we were able to get her information over to them so she can get a laptop. So just anything that I see that even like Kim Sellers used to have some very nice events. And so MS Society used to give a lot of nice events. So just try to share information. That's pretty much it. Because we can't do, it is what it is, right?
Right. It's us. It's our life now. It's what we have.
Yeah, it's our life. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I just try to any advantages that uh, by us having MS that we could take advantage of, I just share.
I really like that. I really admire that. And I thank you for that because we have to share with each other. I mean, like I said, a lot of people things people don't know. And like you said, the resources are out there for us, Lomac. And I do, like I said, I went to a lot of Kim Sellers events. I spoke at one of them. I go to,
Oh.
yeah, I did. I cried through the whole thing telling the speech, but
Yeah,
but
she used to have some black tie galas.
yes, she did. Yes. And she still does. She has them still.
Does she?
Yes. Uh-huh. When I hear of them, I'll let you know about the next one that she has.
Okay.
I'm still homebody because I'm still scared to be out there and I don't want to catch anything, because our immune system is so low.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I have to get past that. But I caught mine at the hospital. I had caught COVID in the hospital and my MS flared up. So it's like, it's kind of scary a little bit out there. So I don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
be out there in the world just doing whatever. I don't do it. I'm just,
yeah. Same here, and I don't think we should feel bad about that. We're okay. Well, you know, we don't have to be out there. Everything you want is right here.
it's our solitude.
It's our solitude, right? Yeah, you're not, and all the stuff you hear about, and it's a cra- it's a crazy world out there.
We're not missing anything out there. We're not.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Oh, Lomac, I see our time. It said that we're 6 minutes left, so we're going to kind of end up closing our meeting. We're going to come to a close with it. You don't know how much it meant to me to even see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Like I said, we met each other through MS and we promised to stay friends. And as you can see, Lomac and I have a bond, an MS bond. I was always love you from the bottom of my heart for what we went through and what we're going through. And I appreciate you being there for me to try this. This is my very first podcast.
All
I
right.
do. And to be honest with you, everybody, he was very patient with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Rhonda, you look good.
thank
You
you.
really look nice.
So do
Yeah,
you, Mama. So do
yeah.
you.
Thank you, thank you.
And I appreciate all you've done for. I appreciate all the patience. I appreciate all the information you shared with me. You were so wonderful. You really were.
Oh, you say that to all the guys. Yeah, you say that
And
to
I
all
hope
the guys.
anyone that listens to our podcast, I hope you can see the bond we have. I hope you can understand the bond we have. I hope you guys can understand that you're in this with us together, all of us, because we all have MS. We're family. We have MS. I mean, we're going to deal with it. We're going to take the bitter with the sweet. We're going to stay strong. And like Lomax said, there are going to be other things out there because when he and I were diagnosed, they probably had very few medicines. I know when I was diagnosed in 91, they have only one medication.
Right.
And now they are up to what about 40 medications?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
who's to say, guys, or anybody that have a family member or friend that MS does not mean that we are not going to have a cure. We may not get a cure, but we're going to heal all that we're going through. I believe. Can we go for that?
You're right. That's right. Yes. Yes.
Lomac, thank you so much.
I thank you so much, and may God bless you and keep you.
And God bless you also. Thank you so much for everything. Okay, everyone. Goodbye, MS family and friends.
Okay. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.